Hello everyone and welcome to index 1 of my JavaScript coding tutorial. Now last episode we ended on this console.log hello world. And if you remember, it gave us hello world as an output. And I'm just using the terminal right here in NeoVim to run the code. So you can just run it with the same way you usually do, which is open up a new terminal. Oh, hold on. Here we go. We open up a new terminal, cd cd JavaScript, and then node tutorial.js. You can run it like this. I'm just going to run it in the terminal. So, in this video, we're going to learn about data types and variables. So, for instance, I can say let x equal 5, and I'll explain this in a second. And then we can say console.log x. So if you remember from our previous video, console.log just basically prints something to the screen. It just prints something right here. And then we're just making a variable. So x is what's called a variable. And a variable, you can think of it as just a container. You can think of it as like a mail envelope. You're going to put something in the envelope to be used later on. And then right now we have let x equals 5. So equals is the assignment operator, which basically just means, oh, we're going to put 5 in this envelope. We're going to write 5 on this code, and we're going to put it in the envelope, and we're going to console.log it. So in JavaScript, how you declare variables is you say let, and that just tells Node that, oh, we're making a new variable right now. Let's look out for that. We're going to call it x. This is a name. You don't have to name every single variable x. You can say let my random super long name variable equals 6. That works as well. This is also a variable name. But probably, just a tip, don't write your variables that long. So, let x equals 5. And now we're going to say console.log x. So what this is doing is, Node's going like, we're going to console.log something, and we have x in here. So, we're going to look at what x is. Oh, x is 5, and we're going to console.log it to the screen. And don't forget your semicolons at the end. You probably don't need them, but it's good practice. So we're going to write it. You can also do Control S in Visual Studio Code, and then run it. And you'll see it prints out 5. So we just assigned 5 to this x variable, and now we're logging it. We're basically putting it in this envelope. We're shipping the envelope off to console.log, and now console.log sees the envelope, reads it, and then prints it to the screen. Pretty good. We can also write what's called strings. So right here, I showed a very simple data type called a number in JavaScript, specifically an integer. So what a number is just basically a number. You can have 5, you can have 0, you can have 1, you can have -6, you can have 0.8, you can have decimals basically. Any number you can imagine is just a number. And then you also have Bullions. And Bullions are just true or false data types. So, in JavaScript, you just write true. Just write out true. It's that simple. Some languages have the T capitalized, but in JavaScript, it's lowercase. You can also have false, and this is basically just what a Boolean is. Boolean is either true or false. And the third main data type is string. It's a string. So, a string is just text, basically. And you can write something like, hi, my, or like, I don't know, just hello world. Sure, that's a string. So a string is just basically text. And you can just write anything in it. Put anything you want in here. You can also put stuff like numbers in strings, and this will be read as a string and not a number. And it gets kind of confusing later on, but just know that this is a string. And for a string, you can either use double, like those double quotes, or you can use single quotes. Both are fine, but I usually use double quotes. So if you type in hello world, and then we execute this program, we can see it prints out hello world. So again, we're just putting this text into an envelope. Console.log is reading that envelope, and it's printing it out to the string. And another thing to note is, let's say I say x equals hello now. This is basically just reassigning a variable. So all code executes from top to bottom. Well, not all code, but most code executes from top to bottom. It executes in chunks or like blocks of code. So if we say let x equals hello world, but in the next line we're saying x equals hello, this is reassigning the variable. Now you'll notice we don't say let x equals hello again, and this is actually incorrect because this creates an entirely new variable. We want to stick with the old variable we have, so we don't use the let, but we use the same name. But we're just basically reassigning it to hello. And then now that's like this is getting sent to someone else. They take out the hello world, they put in hello into the envelope, and then now console.log is reading the envelope. So if you want to take a guess at what this will print out, it's going to print out hello. It originally was hello world, but we were reassigning it to hello. And you can, I think in JavaScript, you can just reassign it to other data types. So x equals 5, you'll see it change from hello world to 5. Neat. And then in JavaScript, there's also something really nice, which is constants. And constants are just immutable data types. But it does get kind of strange as objects and whatever. But we can say const let x equals hello world. And this means that x is just, it's like you seal the envelope, you completely shut it off, you put it in the safe, alright? No one can open the safe. Well, people can open the safe to read the variable, but they can't open the safe to put something in it. So for instance, if I say x equals 5, this will now give me an error. You'll see it says assignment to constant variable. And this is just basically good practices. It just says that, oh, x is always going to be hello world. We do not want to change what x is. So if we try to change what x is, it's going to give us an error. And this is very useful in situations where you just want something that stays constant no matter what. And then you just can't reassign it. It's just like safety catching, sort of. You don't want to accidentally reassign a variable you don't want to change. So I think that's about it for variables. We covered 3 main data types. We have numbers, we have booleans, and we also have strings. So that's about it for this video. See you guys in the next one.